Another video on how to install mud in a shower pan in a shower stall. So what I usually use is Quikrete sand topping mix. This works fine for this purpose. And you just usually what I do is get a tub, plastic tub, a hole, and I put a couple of bags of this sand topping mix into the tub, and then I just add water and just keep on going back and forth, chopping the the mud into the water until it's completely mixed. You don't want it too wet and you don't want it too dry. You want it so that when you have the right consistency, when you hold it together, it's going to stay in a ball. So this is basically how do you mix the mud. You're all done. This is what it's going to look like. You're going to put it into a ball, and you can, and then when you press it together, it just stays together. It doesn't fall apart, and that is the right dampness for the mud. What's next? Once you've got your mud mixed, what I usually do is I put a couple piles along the wall, and I start usually in one corner, and I pack the mud into that corner and flatten out the top of it so that it is at the right height in relation to the drain. So the pitch you want to end up with when you're all said and done with this is you want to have about a 1/4 inch per foot sloping down towards the drain. So you don't want really any less than that. You can have it more than that, but you don't want to really make it too steep, otherwise you might be uncomfortable when you stand on it. So you want about a 1/4 inch per foot. And the way I do it is I put a pile in the corner, I flatten it out, get it nice and smooth, and then I check for the pitch towards the drain. And that's how I establish my height for the height of the mud. And then once I've done that, I get that height established, and here I'm checking to see that I've got the correct pitch towards the drain. And then once you got that height established, then you move on to the next pile, and you make the two piles so when you put level across it, it's level. So that's what I'm doing here. Start going across to see what height the other pile of mud's going to have to be at. So I'm going to pack that down, get it nice and packed in, and then I'm going to screed across and get it so it's exactly level with the first pile I made. Those two set, you're going to get a level between one pile and the other, and then you're going to move on to the other corner, and that way you've got now 3 piles of mud, which actually I'm going to call screed spots, and they're all going to be exactly at the same level. And once you've got these 3 spots exactly level, you can fill in between and screed it off, and you're going to have the back wall, in this case, completely flat. And then you're going to continue this procedure all the way around the perimeter of the shower floor. So now, once we have all these 3 spots perfect, and you can go back and forth and tweak them if you have to, you're going to fill in between. And this is actually quite easy. You just put some mud in between, pack it in, pack it down, and then make sure it's nice and packed. And then you just screed across the 2 spots that you originally made, and you're going to have a perfectly flat and level line across those 2 spots. And then we move across to the next one, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And you're going to continue this all the way around the perimeter of the shower, and you're going to have a perfectly level perimeter around the whole shower floor. This mud shower floor is going on a copper pan. Here I'm in New England, in the Boston area, and we still use copper pans once in a while. Some of the contractors I do work for use them all the time. But anyway, so if this were a rubber membrane pan with a 3-piece drain, you would need to put gravel around the drain to protect the weep holes. Because this is a copper pan, I don't have to do that. I treat this a little differently. This is just to show you how to install the mud in the pan. So if you're doing a rubber membrane, make sure you put gravel around the drain and put weep hole to protect the weep holes. So once you got the whole perimeter done, it's time to fill in the middle part of it. And because we have the whole perimeter done, it's flat and it's level all the way around, and it's at a height that gives us a pitch of about 1/4 inch per foot sloping towards the drain. It's going to be really easy to do the next part, and that is just to fill in the area that's like you see here, from the perimeter down to the drain. Pack it in, and then make sure everything's nice and packed, and then we're just going to screed down towards the drain from the perimeter, and we're going to get our pitch towards the drain. And that's what I'm doing here. And then the perimeter that you put in before, that's gonna, and you've screeded it off, and it's all flat and level, and it's gonna be pretty firm. I mean, once you screed across from the perimeter down to the drain, you're usually not gonna dig. If you've got the mud at the right consistency and you packed it in properly, you're not gonna really have any issues digging that. Continue doing that until you've got the whole base filled with the mud, and screed it down to the drain. You can do half at a time. You can do the whole thing at a time if you've got enough mud, depending on how big it is. But you just want to, once you got the perimeter down and you filled it in, that's pretty much all you need to do to get the right pitch and a nice even surface down towards the drain. So once you got this whole area all filled in, it's time to, now some drains you can screw them up and screw them down. This one here in particular, you really can't, you don't have much of a adjustment. So what I do is I get like a little piece of board or whatever I've got available, and I keep digging around the drain, always going towards the drain, and dig down so that I have the right depth for the tile that I'm going to be installing. Now it's you want the top of the tile to be exactly even or just slightly above the top of the drain. So you just dig down a little bit at a time, and just get it all the way even, all the way around, and just so that you got the right depth for the drain. Then once in a while you want to check, make sure that your everything's even, and you still got the proper pitch. Shouldn't be a problem, but it's always good to check. So anyway, once you've done that, then you're gonna use your steel trowel, and you're just gonna smooth everything off, and make sure all the loose mud is all embedded into the mud that you just installed. And once you've got that done and you smoothed it off, you can call it done. One step that I like to do after this, which is not necessary, but you can if you want, is I'll get some water and just put some on the top of the very top of the mud, and then just trowel it off again so you get a nice, really smooth surface. This step is not necessary, but you can do it if you want. But you just have to be careful. Once you put the water on, it can become a little softer, and you can dig into it. So if you're not comfortable doing it, you can just end it here, and with this, after you've troweled it with the steel trowel, and you can call it done. Set for 24 hours or so. This is what it should feel like. Nice and smooth, even, and hard as a rock.